Tonight, we kick into high gear as we welcome one of Marywood's women's soccer student athletes beyond the arch. Our guest tonight is a junior physician's assistant major from Telford, Pennsylvania. At Souderton Area High School, our guest was a three-sport athlete competing in soccer, basketball, and track. She was a three-time PIAA District 1 championship qualifier and the 1 Suburban League shot put champion. She was a 2-year varsity soccer player and played on club and AAU teams. She also captained her basketball team senior year. At Marywood, she had 2 consistent years and is now in the midst of a breakout junior season on the women's soccer team. She is tied for the team lead with 5 goals in the season and was named Atlantic East Offensive Player of the Week for the week of October 21st.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to the show. I'm pleased to be joined by women's soccer player Cara Romaniello. Cara, thank you very much for being on the program tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we're very happy to have you. We know you guys are in the midst of your conference run right now, and you were just recently named Offensive Player of the Week and all that, so we're really excited to talk to you about all that stuff and wish you luck in your upcoming games as well. But we know you're in the thick of your schedule, so we're going to talk about athletics in a little bit. But first of all, we want to know a little bit about who you are off the field, even though I know you're really busy on it. You have some time off it as well. So first of all, first question we always ask everybody on the show is, how did you find your way to Marywood? So, how?
Oh, that's a very long and tricky question. I originally came, back home, I grew up in a very small kind of township. No one really knows where it is. My middle school, I had 14 kids in my graduating class, and then I went into a high school that had 3,000 kids. So I liked the smaller atmosphere. I didn't want to go to a big state school because I knew a lot of the kids in my high school wanted to go to Penn State or Pitt. I like to have a relationship with my teachers, so if I wanted to go to them with a question or if I had any kind of problems in their class, I would be able to talk to them. I just wouldn't be like a number in a classroom. I also wanted to go to a school that was going to allow me to play sports and do my major, which is pre-PA. Originally I came here recruited for both basketball and soccer, so I also wanted a school that would let me do both. And the coaches were wonderful when I came in. They were very flexible with my schedules, and they were very helpful with things. I also liked that it was a Catholic college because I was raised a Roman Catholic, and having a chapel on campus was also very convenient. But other than that, I loved the campus when I came here for my overnight. The girls on the team were wonderful to me. There was a lot of good chemistry, a lot of good interactions. It was just all around a very good visit and vibe that I got.
So the next question I normally ask, you pretty much already answered it, academically or athletically driven, but I think probably a little bit of both for you, right? So how have you found the fit here on campus? Is it everything you thought it would be in terms of, that individual attention and everything you get from your teachers and your coaches and all that?
I think so. I have formed a few relationships with my teachers from past classes, and I always drop by my advisor's office sometimes. I would always say hi to my teachers if I passed them going to class. They're very, very kind, and they always surprisingly remember a lot of the students that they've had in the past, which I always thought was very kind of them. Coach-wise, it's very nice, because I know the coaches like to strive to have an open door policy. They like to stress it, and always if anybody has a problem, they can come in and ask a question. If they ever want to have a meeting about playing time or any kind of concerns, if you wanted to watch film with them, if you had any questions, it was always very open and nice. Other than that, like, the kids on campus are also very nice. Passing people, there's probably nothing that I could say bad about it, other than the stress load of school, but
well, of course,
that's
yeah,
normal.
That's anywhere. But I mean, to quote Sister Mary, there's never a place with more door holders. I think is always what she says at open house in the world, the Marywood, and I find that to be pretty true. I think everybody holds a door for each other, so that's good.
That's very true.
So the workload aspect of your major, I mean, a lot of times we have athletes on here, and their majors are in the medical field. I think that's kind of, and I always think it's kind of in part because of being an athlete. It helps you understand maybe how the body works a little bit more and things like that. So I think sometimes there's a connection between the two. But obviously, pre-PA is a big, it's a big workload, I would imagine anyway, as a lot of the medical majors are. So how do you find time? And I know you were a basketball player, so you could talk about how you found time with two sports and that, and how you find time with women's soccer and your major.
It can be challenging at times, that is for sure. I try and plan around my practices. I know soccer, we usually always have later in the evening practices, like most often it's like 8:30 to 10:30 at night. My classes, I try and schedule earlier in the day, so I have a lot of the afternoon time if I needed to get anything done. But I do spend a majority of my time in the library. It's almost like my second home, because even if I do get work done in the afternoon, I find myself going there at night all the time. I don't get much sleep, that is also a fact. But if we ever have away games, I try and bring my stuff on the bus with me. I have a hotspot on my phone if I need to use the Wi-Fi for my laptop. So that's been very useful to me lately. Other than that, it's more just kind of organizing your time and making sure that you know, like, when you have stuff due, right? I have a calendar in my room that I color code with exams and practices. So it looks kind of crazy sometimes, but it's manageable.
Is hotspot free on your phone?
Yeah, my parents, I'm lucky enough to have parents that have unlimited data. So.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I have unlimited data. I don't know if I get the hotspot, but anyway, that's good for you. I mean, I don't really need the hotspot, but anyway, that's good for you. But so what do you think is one misconception about student athletes that people have?
I know a lot of the times, if you think bigger schools, I think when someone thinks of a student athlete, they think, like, I know when I was in high school, I used to think like football players or like D1 athletes, like they would need tutors constantly, like going to class wasn't really a priority for them. It was mostly just all sports. But that's kind of what I liked about this school, is that it really is being a student athlete, and a student comes first before being the athlete. So coaches are always very flexible with making sure to prioritize going to class over practice. And if you do need to miss a class for a game, then you have to tell your teacher ahead of time and make sure you can talk to them about making up any work that you missed. But I think we kind of break all of the misconceptions, because I know the women's soccer team, I was very proud to be on the team because we had one of the highest GPAs in the school and in the conference, and it was very good to see, because we take a lot of pride in our academics for sure.
A lot of the student athletes that come on here, always their quote is like they're student athletes, not athlete students.
Yeah.
That's what people tell them. So that's good to hear, though. I think that's good that academics and athletics could coexist. That's always very good. But now, I read in your bio you were a 3-sport athlete in high school.
Yes.
So why don't you talk a little bit about that, and then maybe, how did you land on finally women's soccer? How did that become your singular focus?
I was always more attached to soccer and basketball in high school. Track, at first, when I started freshman year, it was more, I had done it in the past with CYO when I was younger, like in middle school. When I did it in high school, it was more of something that was going to keep me in shape for soccer and basketball. But I kind of got to love all three of them as I came through high school and everything. The coaches were wonderful at track. I've played soccer since I was 4 years old, and I played basketball since I was 7, and it's kind of hard to imagine my life without it. In a sense, I mean, I had to give up basketball this year, and that was probably one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make. But going through, I had really good experiences with my club coaches for soccer. They really pushed me to go to tournaments and get college recruits to come, or college coaches to come to recruit me during tournaments, and emailing my resume and everything out to have the opportunity. And I'm very thankful for that, for both basketball and soccer. And I was lucky enough to have the chance to be recruited for both, for this school and a few other schools that I was looking at. But at the moment, I think I landed more towards women's soccer because the team aspect of it, it's kind of, this year it's kind of unparalleled to all the other seasons that I've been a part of. Even with like club or high school. Like high school, there's a lot of drama that goes on through, throughout
the
school.
high school drama,
yeah.
sure.
No matter where you go, you can't really escape it. But this team this year, we get along a lot better than I've ever seen, and it's very nice to see. There's no kind of separation between the grades. In basketball, it was the same way, but it was just sometimes not always there. I know sometimes you always get mad at your teammates sometimes, like you can't help it, like things get frustrated in the heat of the moment. But I know for me, basketball was kind of hard to manage a lot because with the overlap with both sports, it kind of took a lot out of me last season, last year with my grades, because there is a few weeks of overlaps, and a lot of the practices were 6 a.m.s or late at nights, and I had a hard time managing both at the same time. And basketball is one of the longest seasons in this school, so I think the smartest decision for me was to cut that from my schedule, just to free up more time for myself and for my schoolwork, and to kind of take some of the pressure off myself.
How did you come to that decision, to let that go, and like, or was there a specific point where you thought, like, I'm gonna have to do something?
I had been thinking about it for a while. Like I said before, like I really couldn't imagine my life without it. It didn't really hit me that I had to do it until the summer coming into this year. It was my coach, the past coach that we had prior to this year, because the basketball team does have a new coach this year.
Right.
But she had called us over the summer to let us know that she was going to be getting a new position. And at that point, I had already lost a coach prior, because my freshman year was a different coach.
Right, Coach Machako.
Yes. Okay. And then we got a new coach my sophomore year. And going through the process of getting a new coach along with so many new faces and kind of adding on to the it was a little much for me to be able to handle with all of my workloads, and I knew I really wanted to lock down all my schoolwork this year with anatomy and physiology, because I know those classes were going to be really, really challenging for me. But
so now, was the ultimate factor for you with women's soccer, was it just the consistency of the program? Not to say that our women's basketball program here has also had plenty of success over the years, but was there anything to the fact that, like you said, same coach, did that play a role in your decision, like the consistency of the program?
I just found that I enjoyed it. Not really enjoyed it, that's a bad way to put it. It's just, I don't know, I feel like I've played soccer a lot longer, and it just seemed kind of like the smarter decision at the time. And there are days when I walk into the gym and I see them practicing, or I just see an empty gym with a basketball sitting on the floor, and I kind of miss it a lot. And sometimes I regret my decision, but it's something that I kind of have to live with, and I think I made a good decision with kind of how I manage my time, and because it does fall into both semesters, and I think that was one of the big factors, because soccer does last for only the fall semester, So if anything, if it was going to be too much for me, it would only last for the first semester and not into the spring.
Absolutely. Well, as far as on a performance level, you're excelling on the soccer field this year. So
Well, thank you.
yeah, I think this probably was the right decision. But we have much more with Cara right after this, and we're going to get into all about women's soccer right after the break.
Alvin and the Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow.
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean.
I'm waiting for the rinse cycle.
Separate. Cook.
Fire in the hole!
And chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tidy.
Check your steps. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it,
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got, or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
So who's gonna do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
Welcome back to BTA as our conversation with Cara continues. All right, so we left off talking about, how you made your way to women's soccer as your sport, and you're full on into it now. And I mean, what a season you're having. I've been tied for, as of this taping, I looked tonight, tied for the team lead in goals, and I think 4 goals in the last 4 games. I think, and obviously in the most crucial stretch of the season so far. So, what do you attribute the hot streak to as of late?
Well, I really can't take much of the credit myself because it is a team sport, and there are 11 of us out there. And
you're the one kicking them in there, though. So
well, the opportunities were created by my other teammates, and that's what the assists are from. And I for sure cannot take all of the credit without them being there, because I definitely could not run that whole field by myself, for sure. But I'm just very grateful for the opportunities that I've had and being able to finish as much as I have, because it is tough sometimes. And our coach definitely has been pushing us in practice to work on our shooting and work on our aim and finishing the ball, for sure.
We talked before about this team being so tight chemistry-wise, and off camera you were telling me you have a really good chemistry with one of your other forwards. So has that played a big role in it, or?
Yeah, it did start off as a little bit of a joke after the first goal that we both had. She thought that we had undeniable chemistry, which
undeniable chemistry.
Yeah, it kind of shows itself a little bit, but I mean, I can't deny it. But
undeniable.
Yes, but she is a fantastic player by far, and being up there with her on the leading scorer for the team is something I never thought I could achieve.
Is there any kind of friendly competition going on, or no?
I have no battle with her. She's just a great player, and I love playing with her. The way she plays the ball, I can't really argue with any of the people on my team, because we have a lot of talent and we have a lot of potential. And I know there have been times in games where we've struggled kind of to gel a little bit. We've had a few off nights here and there, but in the end we all know that we have each other's back, and we can all play off of each other, especially some of the upperclassmen. We've been together for long enough that we know our strengths and weaknesses, and I think it's having team chemistry and being able to get along with each other is very important on and off the field or court, wherever you're playing, because in the end, it is your family, and you're with them almost all day, every day, pretty much, with games and sports, taking long bus rides, staying overnight in hotels. You really do get to know each other, and I think that's probably the most important part.
So a really nice, I mean, I say start, but even though it's almost over, but it's, you know, you guys have a nice record in conference. You know, you're charging towards the playoffs. So what do you attribute the success in conference to?
Our coach does push us a lot. I know out of conference, he gives us a very tough schedule. He gives us a lot of challenging moments and challenging games to kind of push us so that when we do get into conference, it kind of makes it a little bit easier, it takes the pressure off. So when we have those past games where we know how hard we should work, we kind of keep that same gameplay when we come to conference.
Obviously coming off of, you know, the great result last year, is there any pressure to get that same result this year?
Definitely, for sure. Especially since of the not the title, but the record we have so far. We've always thought that so far, since we have so many wins, we're 4-1, I believe. We are the team to beat, along with Wesley, I believe.
Who you did beat?
Yes.
Okay, so in your minds, you guys you obviously feel as though you could beat anybody in conference, then, correct?
But we never want to go into a game with the mindset where we can just take the game, but we always have to go in with a strong mindset, knowing this is an important win that we need to have.
It seems as though the team has really embraced the new conference in terms of the higher level of competition, the no kind of down games, so to speak. That's what Dr. Gunning used to say a lot when she came on the show, was that this was supposed to be what the vision for the new conference was. So has that helped you personally or the team, you think, just the higher level of competition, knowing that everybody's going to be really tight?
I think so, because I know I didn't get to experience the CSAC a lot since I was only there. It was only our conference for my freshman year.
Right.
But the level of talent and competition that we have is 100% harder. I do believe that having harder competition and better speed of play forces you to be a better player, and I think that's kind of forced our team to grow and form better than it would have if we would have stayed in the CSAC, for sure.
So what is the goal for the rest of the season for the team?
As a whole, we do want to have another conference championship, and we would love to go to NCAAs this year. That's a dream of mine, and I know it's a dream of a lot of the players on my team, including my coach.
What are the prospects like for that? Does Coach ever discuss that with you guys? I mean, is it likely you would get an auto bid? Is it kind of up in the air? I mean, how does that work?
Personally, I don't know a lot about that. I know last year, even though we won the conference, we didn't get a bid because our record overall wasn't as good as some of the other teams, which is why Cabrini did get a bid last year and we did not.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So I believe that if our record stays as well as has been so far in off-season and in conference, I believe we have a better chance.
So, I mean, I don't know if you know this or not, but do they take into account strength of schedule or anything like that, or is it just a straight-up record deal, or like how? I mean,
I think personally, I don't know, but I think the most important thing is probably your overall record.
That's just kind of, kind of crazy to me. I don't know. That a team that you beat, you know, or that you are the conference champions, then I don't. I mean, that part I really don't understand, because not only are you finishing stronger, but you know, you've proven that you're the best team in that conference. So, was that frustrating? I mean, what was that?
Very frustrating. Yeah. I remember last year, the day that they announced the NCAA bids, I was in the training room, the athletic training room, with a few of my teammates and a few of the athletic trainers, and they were reading off the computer screen who got a bid, and when they said it was Cabrini and not us, it was devastating. We were very frustrated. We were so furious, but in the end, there's nothing really you could do. Right. You can argue about it, but it was very disappointing last year.
It's out of your control.
Yeah.
So is it just, Is it just go out there and be the best we can? Is that the kind of attitude you guys adopt?
Yeah, just take every game as it goes. Focus on the next game that you have. Don't look into the future. If you know that you have, say, we play one team tomorrow, but we know that the game that we play on Saturday is a tougher team, we want to just stay in the moment, want to focus on the first game that we have and make sure we win that, because no game is secured until the 90 minutes are over.
So now, you talked before, we'll circle back about the chemistry. You said that this team is unparalleled in chemistry, and it's just a different kind of a feeling. What creates that feeling? Why is this group closer than any other group? Because obviously every team is, or ideally they are, close. So what makes this team just that much more than the others you've been on?
I feel like overall we're a lot closer. We have done a lot of team bonding this year. I know that was a very important aspect that the captains wanted to capture this year. And I thought they did a really good job about that. We had a lot of pasta parties on the weekends before games. We had movie nights. We tried to schedule team events either with fundraisers or if it was taking a trip to Roba's, which we still have to do. But overall, I think it's just that nobody really, there is an age gap, but it's almost like non-existent when you look at how the atmosphere is during practice. We have captains and we have freshmen that are different ages and different grades, but when you look at the team as a whole, I don't think you could be able to pick out who's in what grade, because we all kind of bonded together. I can't really explain how, but we all just kind of get along. I think now that our grade, seeing as when we were freshmen, how that difference kind of holds from freshmen to seniors, that intimidation factor coming in, I think we all just wanted to be as welcoming as possible to get the most out of the freshmen, because I know coming in, it can be kind of scary. And I think, wanting to make them as comfortable as possible and feel welcome as a team members was really important.
All right, so one last question before we wrap up the interview. You talk a lot about your teammates and about how, they mean a lot to you, and I'm sure you mean a lot to them, and it's a, back and forth relationship. But what is one thing you would hope that your teammates think about you? What's one quality that you would want them to see in you and in your play?
I try my best during practice to lead by example as best I can, since I am an upperclassman. I'm no captain for sure, but I would hope that some of my teammates think that I try and work hard during practice and push each and every one of my teammates with how I play and how I practice. And I would hope that they see me as someone who not only is someone that they play on the field with or someone who's a junior on their soccer team, but as someone they can talk to on the weekends if they have a problem, like at home or with their friends, or just someone who's welcoming or open to give advice or any kind of, just be a friend.
Well, great. I think this has been a great interview, and we want to wish you lots of luck with the rest of the season.
Thank you.
And stick around, and I'll tell you what you can expect next week on Beyond the Arch.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
I'd like to thank Cara for coming on the show and wish her the best of luck the rest of this season. Tune in next week when we welcome 2 senior members of Marywood's women's tennis team to the program. Until then, head over and subscribe to TV-Marywood's official YouTube page to watch full episodes of the show. Be sure to follow TV-Marywood on Twitter and Instagram, and like us on Facebook. Until next time, always remember to look past the jersey and beyond the arch. From everyone at TV-Marywood, have a great night.